What's going on, everybody? Jer's here, and I know it's been a little while since I've made a video, but I've been really busy with school and extracurricular activities revolving around school. Lots of projects I had to be working on and essays to write. So just I've been kind of busy, but haven't really had time to crank out a video. But I have some free time now because I'm doing some laundry. So I decided, you know what, let's do this, okay? So, today's video is going to be more like a commentary, or just me talking about my thoughts about a couple of different things that really revolve around the subject of judgment. If you read the title of the video, you can pretty much have an idea of what we're going to be talking about today. So, without further ado, let's talk about this shit. So, one thing I've noticed is that in our society, at least in this day and age, a lot of people, more specifically like teenagers and young adults, have this great fear of judgment. And I don't really understand why. I mean, if you really think about it and really put some complex thought into it, or just a little critical thinking, judgment in and of itself isn't bad, I see these YouTube comments all the time where people are like, oh man, stop judging her, or you're judging him, and a whole bunch of other shit, And I mean, if someone came up to me and was like, hey, you're judging that person, my reply to that would be, yes, I fucking am judging that person. And the reason why I'm judging that person is because that's what human beings do. I mean, it's not uncommon to judge an individual. Judging is not a bad word. It's not a bad thing to do. In fact, it takes a great degree of wisdom to judge another individual's character. I mean, like I said, judgment itself is a very neutral word. You can even have a good judgment or a bad judgment, So, to one degree, I can understand why people don't like judgment. If you mean judging someone through a stereotype, or judging someone based on how they appear, that would be wrong. I can understand that. That's not the way you correctly judge an individual. You say don't judge a book by its cover, even though ironically, books have great covers that attract. I don't know. Books are oxymorons. Fuck it. I'm sorry. The point I'm making is, you really shouldn't judge an individual based on how they look. You should judge them on the content of their character. And yeah, that's exactly what Martin Luther King said, but I mean, he had a point. So, while you shouldn't judge an individual based on the way they look, you should absolutely judge them based on the shit they do. I mean, and I guess later in the video, I'm going to use a couple of examples that were spin off into their own videos later in the course of my lifetime, because I don't know when I'll have time to make them. However, I'm going to use these examples, but I'm going to set it up first. I don't know why I told you that. Whatever. It's been a while since I made a video. I'm sorry. Just bear with me. But, yeah. Judging someone based on the way they look, like I said, I absolutely understand why people would take offense to that, or why that would bother them. Because, a first impression, it really isn't everything, A lot of people kind of say that, especially when guys try to give other guys advice when talking to women. They say your first impression with the women is the most important thing. I mean, truly, it really isn't. However, that first impression is going to guide how she looks at you for the rest of the time that you know her. So, its importance is very high, but what I'm saying is, it really shouldn't be, because, first impression only goes as far as the day that person had. I mean, if you had a first impression that the person was really nice, really kind, but I mean, you get to know him for a couple of weeks, it turns out to be a jackass, well, you were wrong. If you get the impression that this guy is gloomy and depressed, but I mean, his dog just died that day, but he turns out to be really cheerful and really nice, you were wrong. So, first impressions are definitely important, but they should not be everything. Because one, you could be wrong, or you could be right, but you won't know unless you actually take time to get to know the person. And so really, that's what I'm saying about a judgment. because I don't judge people I don't know, but I definitely judge the people that I do know. So that means, like, if you do something nice, I think you're a nice person. That is a judgment in and of itself. On the flip side, if you do something mean, I'm gonna think that you're a mean person. I mean, and maybe not like one time, but like if you're constantly doing mean things to different people, you know, you're constantly taking shit from them, you're constantly borrowing stuff from them, not giving it back, you insult them all the time. I'm gonna make that judgment and say you're a mean person. I don't want you in my life because you suck. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, the person sucks. I can't do nothing about that. If the person is nice, a really nice person, really nice girl, I don't want her to be in my life. So I have to make these types of judgments and assess people's character in order to understand whether or not I want them in my life or I don't want them in my life. You know? And once again, that's perfectly fine. Judgments are not bad. You should judge people. If they do something wrong, then you should try to help them or correct them. If they do something right, you should praise them, you know, support them, help them out. Judgments are not bad. Okay, I want to really stress that point. Like, a judgment is very neutral. Okay, it's just a judgment. The definition of a judgment is just a critical evaluation. So that's fine. And you can have a bad judgment. You can have a negative judgment, or I mean, positive or good judgment. Okay, so that kind of leads me to the next thing I'm going to talk about, which is decision making and the repercussion. So, like I said earlier, I see this a lot on YouTube. You know, there'll be a video, usually like a newscaster or just be a regular person like me, and they will make a commentary about something that happened in the news. You know, and a lot of people would get upset, and they would comment and reply, "Stop being so judgy," or "Stop being so judgmental." Those people are judgmental assholes. They keep on judging her for what she did. Oh, they're judging him because he didn't. And you know, there's a lot of people who will just comment and talk about just how terrible it is to judge. So, like I said, I already just went through this whole spiel about how a judgment in itself isn't bad. But now I'm going to talk about the flip side of that argument. Not the argument that judgments are bad. Just listen. So, lots of people do stupid shit, okay? And they try to blow off their stupid decision making by saying it was just a mistake or I messed up, you know? And they don't really like take responsibility for what they did. Like, let's just say, "Oh, I messed up," or you know, it was a mistake. You know, not really owning up to it was a bad decision, because there's a difference between a mistake and a bad decision. Okay, a mistake is something that you don't mean to do. A mistake is something you're not trying to do. Okay, so a mistake would be, you know, like I put too much sugar in the cake and now the cake's too sweet. That's a mistake. I didn't mean to, you know, I thought it was enough. It was a mistake. A bad decision would be me sitting here saying, I'm going to put more sugar in this cake. A decision is something done on purpose. You purposely do it. You thought about it, and then you go with it. A mistake is something you don't mean to do. So, you can't really judge someone based on a mistake, but you can judge them based on a bad decision. And a lot of people kind of get them mixed up. So about a year ago, my philosophy professor posed this question to our class. The question is like this: is it never okay to judge anybody ever? And a lot of people in the classroom kind of said, no, you're never supposed to judge anybody. A couple people said you judge people on the things that they do, you know. And so my professor, he replied to this. He said, okay, question. If someone goes out and they kill 3 people, wouldn't that make them a murderer? A lot of people in class said yes. So he said, okay, so question. If someone goes out and steals lots of merchandise, does it not make them a thief? Once again, by definition, yes, it would make them a thief. So what his point was was you judge people based on the things that they do. And there's nothing wrong with that. If someone does something wrong and it's a decision that they purposely made, you can make a judgment or an assessment about it. Now, a lot of people don't understand the concept that there are repercussions for the things that they do. For example, this dude porn star, I'm gonna make a video about her, but I think her name's like Bella Knox. Now, she was outed by another student, and a lot of the students there kind of reacted negatively to what happened, and I can understand that. What is not okay is to attack her, or to insult her, or to attempt to rape her, or anything like that. That's not fine. However, if you have an opinion based on the work that she does, that's perfectly fine as well. That is okay. I mean, it's not fine to attack her or to harm her, but it is fine to feel a certain way about what she does. And if you don't want to be associated with that, that's your business. You know? You feel like she's a whore? I mean, I don't know. Kinda. I mean, she does what whores do, which is go around having lots of sex with people you don't know. So by definition, she'd be a whore. Sorry. That's the way it is. A lot of companies are going to make judgments about her employment because of the videos that she's done. That's a judgment. That's an assessment for her decision. It's not a mistake, that's a decision. She purposely sought out to become a porn star. But she doesn't understand how some people react negatively to that, especially a lot of women. Now, I don't understand how she doesn't get that lots of girls don't like pornography. So why in the fuck would they support someone being a porn star? Like, there are like, most of the women I have talked to don't like it at all. So I don't understand how any woman can't process that idea in their brain. To me, it makes perfect sense that a lot of girls over at Duke are kind of react negatively to it. Now, does that mean that they need to go around and slap shit out of her? No. They don't need to put their hands on her. But if they don't like what she's doing and they make an assessment about that, that's perfectly fine. Now, it should be what the ultimate problem I have here is how a lot of people don't understand that their actions have repercussions. That people are going to make an assessment, or people are going to feel a certain way about the things you do. You know, if you slap a baby upside the head, people are going to feel a certain way about that. Okay? If you're really nice and you give people slices of pizza for no apparent reason, people are going to have an opinion about that. So there are always going to be repercussions for the things that you do. And if you do something wrong or negative, or you do something a lot of people don't like, then you should know that that's the response you're going to get. It shouldn't be a surprise is what I'm saying. That's the ultimate point I'm making in this video. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. You know, and I'll leave this question to you. What exactly is wrong about judging someone based on the things they do, or their actions or their decisions? You know, leave a comment in the comment box below. Like this video if you like it, of course. Subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. And I'll see you cool cats later.